We have reached college football week 10. It's not a great week. Georgia plays I think Missouri, who's 4-4, something like that. Don't quote me on that. They're playing, I think Missouri, and I think Missouri's 4-4. Either way, whoever Georgia's playing this week, the number one team in the country, I'm like, nah, I don't really care. That's not very moving to me. But there are 5 games I'm really, really interested in this week with college football. Number one is this. It's number 9 Wake Forest, who is 8-0, by the way. Undefeated Wake Forest, the only undefeated team and the top team in the ACC, playing on the road at North Carolina. And this is the first of a little bit of a gauntlet for Wake Forest. Wake Forest plays at North Carolina, then they play NC State, then they play at Clemson, then they play at Boston College. So if Wake Forest wants to go undefeated 12-0 and then potentially win the ACC conference title game and go 13-0, they got a tough road ahead. 4, I think, challenging games in a row. And if Wake Forest is legit, they win all of them, but it'll be really interesting to see, is Wake Forest a pretender? Or are they actually, they've been dominating bad opponents so far this year. Are they actually good? Or will they falter when they play a team that's solid? Like North Carolina's 4-4. They're not a great football team, but North Carolina's not a pushover either. They just took Notre Dame to, they played 3 great quarters against Notre Dame, almost beat Notre Dame last week. So Wake Forest could be in trouble this weekend. Keep your eye on that. They're undefeated and may not be after this weekend. Game number 2 is Liberty at number 16, Ole Miss. First of all, it's Malik Willis, the Liberty quarterback, playing against an SEC defense. It's massive. This is a guy who's probably the number 1 overall pick in the 2022 NFL draft. Malik Willis is the most talented quarterback in the upcoming draft class. He's a Josh Allen. He's a Justin Herbert. He's a guy who's physically just different and can do stuff that nobody else in the upcoming draft class can do other than him. The other kind of secondary storyline here, so the scouts are going to be out like crazy at this game. It's going to be kind of like when Josh Allen at Wyoming played against Oregon. There's going to be so many NFL scouts in attendance to see Malik Willis against a great defense. Then you also, by the way, have Hugh Freeze, who is the Liberty head coach, and it's his return to Ole Miss because he was once the Ole Miss head coach, and he left after scandal and NCAA violations, and so not only is it Malik Willis against Ole Miss, it's also Hugh Freeze against Ole Miss, the former head coach, and his kind of opportunity. I don't know what you make of it. I think the fans will care because they will probably hate Hugh Freeze. So it will be interesting to see what happens. I don't expect Liberty to win, but I do think Liberty has a shot to score some points and be interesting. And I think it's a really good opportunity to kind of gauge the physical ability of Malik Willis playing against higher level of competition, better athletes at Ole Miss. So Malik Willis is the storyline here you have to watch. How does Malik Willis play on the road at Ole Miss? Number 13, Auburn plays at number 14, Texas A&M. Number 1, they're obviously they're ranked, right behind each other. And man, Auburn has given us so many. Number 13, Auburn has given us so many interesting games all year. And I think this could be another one. Texas A&M beat Alabama earlier this year. And I think I don't really care what kind of person you are. If you like football, I believe number 13 Auburn at number 14 Texas A&M is going to be fun, interesting, gritty, exciting, fun football. And that is what I live for, is watching fun, exciting football games. And I think that's what we're going to see this weekend in college football, especially with Auburn. I really like Bo Nix, Auburn's quarterback. I think they're going to be really, really fun to watch. Okay, game number 4, LSU at number 2, Alabama. Bama's going to win. I would be shocked if Alabama didn't win at home, at Tuscaloosa. But I still think it's interesting. Anytime LSU plays Alabama, it's always fun. Even if Alabama wins by 20 points, I'm still going to watch a little bit of that game regardless. It's going to be on my radar. And I really like Bryce Young, the Alabama quarterback. And it's his first year ever starting in college football. I just think that I think Alabama wins, but it'll be fun. I always think that LSU at Auburn, Alabama. I don't even know why I said Auburn. LSU, Alabama. It's always fun. It's always interesting. And even if Alabama wins by 20 points, which I think they probably will, I think it'll be close for a half, or there'll be something interesting will happen, like it always does between these two teams. Game number 5, the final game you should keep on your radar that could be interesting this weekend, is Boise State at number 23, Fresno State. Fresno State is 7-2. And the thing to watch here is Jay Kaner, the Fresno State quarterback. He's a guy with NFL potential. He's fun to watch. He's a quarterback coach to transfer out of Washington to get on the field. And keep your eye on the Fresno State quarterback this weekend, hosting Boise State. Should be fun. I really like this kid. And if you want a game to watch where you're like, I just want to scout a quarterback, this one or Liberty Ole Miss are the two games where like these are two potential NFL quarterbacks. So it'll be really, really fun to watch. And the way they play will affect their standing with the NFL draft. So keep your eye on Jay Kaner. Keep your eye on Malik Willis. Two fun quarterbacks to watch this weekend in college football.